Tough Call Mediation is brought to you by Herb Legal LLP, serving your mediation and freelance paralegal needs in Ontario, New York, Quebec, and throughout North America. Connect to their website today at www.herblawservices.com.
Hello and welcome to Tough Call. My name is C.T. Ayler and I am here today with my friend, the lovely Dale Sheldon.
Hello.
So we're going to try something a little new today. It was actually suggested by one of my business partners from Herb Legal, Daniel Côté-Ryshpan. He had said, why don't we do sort of a skit that gives people an idea about what a mediation could feel like. So we wanted to be really respectful and careful of what it could be like while still giving a couple of opportunities to have some potential conflict. Mm-hmm. And I didn't, just before we watch it, so you'll have a chance to reflect on it, I wanted it to have at least a little bit of a lightheartedness to it because, you know, these mediations can get really heavy. Okay, so reserve all judgment, Dale. Until
blank slate.
Yeah, until we've gone. And listeners, we're definitely looking to know what you think. There's going to be a couple of twists and turns, but it gives you an idea of what someone might expect in a mediation if they're going through like a parental coordination agreement. This time it's not over a child, so you'll have a chance to see what it's like. So you ready to listen?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So welcome, Sophia and Paul, to our mediation session. I just want to thank you both for taking the time to really sit down and talk about the things that are most concerning to you. And we've had our pre-mediation sessions already, so I've learned a little bit about, what concerns you. And I think this session is definitely more about what you can do with regards to Princess. And if I'm correct, you've settled your house situation. You've both left your house so that it can be sold. And my understanding, it is up for sale. And everything else is pretty much already separated. So financially, so you can already move forward with getting ready for self-filing your divorce because while you were married in May of 2023, your separation started in June of 2024. So let me know. I see you're nodding your head. So as we begin, I'm going to make sure that each one of you has a chance to talk. And I would ask that the other party, you can use the chat function if you have something that you want to add, but we're not going to disrupt the person. I know a lot of strong feelings can come up. If they do, feel free to make notes and write down. And we're going to have...
Actually, I'd like to interrupt right now, just to be clear. Princess's full name is Princess Monk Diaz. I just want to make that.
Princess Monk Diaz, right.
Not
okay. That's fair. No problem.
Just
Princess
in case
Monk
there's confusion
Diaz.
with another princess.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Talking about our princess.
Okay. Right. You're a princess. Princess Monk Diaz. Yes. No problem. Okay. And I would ask that after the few minutes, you just say what you feel you need to say. Then we'll switch to the other person. And I'm going to ask that you take your time to say your piece first. If you have things that you want to respond to what the other person says, we're going to wait until they're finished, and then I'm going to give you each a chance to reply. So what will happen in these next few parts of our session is I'm going to actually start with Paul. Then I'm going to give a signal to let you know that you have 1 more minute. And then once that's completed, then it's time for Sophia. I'm going to flag you, Sophia, and let you know that there's 1 more minute. I may have some questions and clarifications of you both, But once I'm finished, then we're actually going to go to Sophia, and you'll have a chance to respond to what Paul said. And then I'll flag you for 1 more minute. Then Paul, you'll have a chance to respond to what Sophia said. So that sort of back and forth with a chance for me to ask some clarifying questions after. And then we're going to open it up to us being able to just talk freely. So I just want each person to have a chance to feel like they've had their say. And remember, this is a time for you to explain your position and talk about what you think is best for Princess Monk Diaz and what's best for you think the situation of the outcome is. Okay, so how you feel this will work. All right, so those are the ground rules. And Paul, let's begin with you.
Okay, so to start off, I might not get every word right. I'm a little tired. Things might have a bit of an issue, coming out in proper sentences, because I'm now living with my brother, okay? In the basement. He's got 5 kids running around. I haven't slept in days. Okay. So, it might be a little bit slow. I might be a little bit cranky, but, so Sophia's just going to have to deal with it until we get through this. Yeah, so this has been kind of hard, okay? Because, we've settled like quite a number of things in the house and things and stuff, but now we got to come up with decisions together on Princess, and I feel like I can't make any of the decisions, and this is not the first time. I've never made any of the decisions. I mean, I feel like I'm heard at first, and then it doesn't matter, it goes nowhere. Okay, it was the same thing with the house. It was the same thing with the wedding. Okay, we agree on one wedding. Okay, we'll do a mixed wedding. Oh, all of a sudden it's more one or the other. What I want is now gone. We agreed on a certain amount of people. Okay, we both have very big families, and all of a sudden 950 people show up because she invited all of her family. I agreed at leaving all the annoying cousins at home. All the ones that she doesn't like, they didn't come. We agreed on that, and then it doesn't matter in the end. And it's the same thing for Princess. Okay? Now, above everything, we split the maize, we split the balls. So no matter what we've had to talk about, I always get shafted. Okay? So, doesn't matter what it is. I'm sorry, we're probably going to be wasting your time here because, I'm ready to be reasonable. Okay? But at this point, I don't know how reasonable I can be with no sleep. Okay, she gets to sleep, I never get to sleep, and it was always the same thing with Princess. Okay, all right, getting up in the middle of the night for whatever she needed. I feel like I'm in the same boat, and she gets a free ride now, and that's my piece.
Okay. Just before we switch over to Sophia, I appreciate sleep deprivation is a very real thing, but I'm just going to ask both of you to try to refrain from anything that might come across as a personal attack. Sophia, you may want to respond to what Paul said, but let's wait for that to come up in the next portion. This is your opportunity to say your piece, okay? So feel free, Sophia, your turn, and I'll give you that signal for one more minute.
Okay. You know what? This is going to be very hard because I did not expect it to be so insulted during his piece. If he wants to talk about no sleep, then I can talk about all the times that, we couldn't have proper conversations even when he wasn't sleep deprived. So I think the whole sleep deprivation is an excuse because he just wants to get control of Princess. And he probably wants control of Princess because of his mother. And the only reason why I say it's because of his mother is because during the whole wedding process, Paul, you are trying to blame me for inviting family that we agreed upon. Let's remember all the other major decisions of our wedding, like our cake, my dress, our song, all influenced by your mother. So please don't forget how your mother plays a part in this, because you know very well what she did and how involved she was in our wedding. And I really don't appreciate that. And I know we're trying to refrain from blame, but I would just like to remind Paul a lot of things that happened during our marriage. And Princess was huge, because Princess is the only one that I felt as, like, you know, we have her. She's ours. She's not your mother. She's not your family. She's our family. Well, she was our family. But, you know, you decided that your family is far more important. And, you know, that's something that I can't forgive or forget. So, yes, Princess is my priority. And of course, any decision that is not good for her, of course, I'm going to, you know, tell you that you're wrong, because our concern should be about her well-being, not about what your mom wants or your family wants. You know, do you remember how my dad wanted to have a father-daughter dance at the wedding? But no, you said that because it would take up too much time and it just wasn't necessary, and because your mother felt neglected. So, yeah, there are a lot of things wrong with our wedding that I shouldn't have let you done. You know, we come from a very Roman Catholic background, and we've had to make a lot of sacrifices for your Eastern Orthodox family. And, you know, my family still has not gotten over the disrespect. Um, I, sorry, I know I was going off, Chantal, and you told us not to, and tried to be as respectful as possible. But Paul explained how he's living with his brother, while I, after selling our home, have gotten an apartment and I live close to work. I love it. I am sharing it with my cousin who is in college, so you know it's a little bit of a shift in the dynamic. I mean, I guess I'm used to not talking to someone because Paul would never like to talk anyways. So kind of sucks that I'm still have that situation. So it's not like I ever left him, which is kind of funny because I feel like it's through my cousin. Um, Other than that, I just want the best interest for Princess. Um, you know, I would love to change our veterinarian and work through our custody. I think changing per week is a little bit too frequent. Um, I don't know. I've noticed every time I get Princess after the week, she's so clingy. And it shows me that Paul obviously has no time for her, and that breaks my heart. She's our baby. She deserves to be spoiled. She deserves to have everything, all the toys, all the candies. And yeah, if you have to get up throughout the night, which honestly I call BS on, you're not getting up throughout the night. I know this because she's crying every night. And that shows me you're not getting up for her because you probably neglect her and put her downstairs or something away from you, and then you're sleeping. So
Right.
I want to figure out, I want longer extensions with Princess. That is what we are here for today. And I don't know why he didn't bring that up, because I feel like the trust is gone with Paul.
I
And you know
see.
what? It should have been from the beginning. It should have been from the beginning. Yes, we agreed on the marital home, but I want Princess. I feel like she deserves to be loved far more than what Paul can do for her.
Right. Okay. So I understand both of you have some very powerful emotions, especially when you're both invested in Princess Monk Diaz. You know that's a very important thing that we're discussing today. So I really value the time that you've both shared with me your feelings and thoughts around this situation. We're going to give, I think, Sophia, you've had a chance to respond to some of the things that Paul has already said. I'm going to give you an extra minute if there's anything specific that he said that you may want to address specifically. You already said some things. There's one more thing that you may want to say. This is your chance, and then we'll give Paul an opportunity to do the same. Okay?
Well, actually, there's two things. So it should actually be Princess Diaz Monk, because clearly he cannot give the attention she needs. And I will be damned if she has to share his last name, because you know what? I am the primary caretaker. I am the one buying her the toys and everything. So I feel like I'm doing most of the parenting. or most of the control. And I honestly have come to learn from Princess's last visit that Lisa, our vet tech, Paul, I had the pleasure of finding out that you guys are going out on dates. So, you know what? We need to change our vet techs because obviously, once I tell her anything, she's going to blame me. She won't blame you because you guys are dating, and I can't have that. I need a vet tech I trust and who is on both of our sides. See, I will be fair. I'm fair this way. I want someone to be on both of our sides. I don't want someone to have your side only and blame me for the neglect that you're giving her. And yes, I've realized the food you've given her, I notice it's not the one that we agreed on. So I'm quite frustrated with that too. And she got constipated. So thank you for that.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot for you to unpack there, Paul. I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond.
Okay. Well, just I think it's very evident, as you can see, that the second that she can't make all of the decisions, somehow it's unfair, right? We talk about fairness, but if she's not controlling all of it, then all of a sudden, it's as if I'm the bad guy here because I want just I can't have an opinion and all of a sudden it's wrong, right? I mean you're supposed to be neutral, right? But you agree with me, right? I mean, you see it. I know you're not supposed to say it, but
But that's not fair. Sorry, but that's not fair. Yes, I have to control it, but you can see Princess got constipated by the new food you gave her, and Lisa's trying to blame me that it's
Sophia, I
an
don't mean to
overextension.
interject, but just remember, this is an opportunity for Paul to just give some feedback on what you said, and then we're going to open it up to the free. Okay, thank you.
Can I please clarify? I would just like to clarify that she got constipated from the new food Paul gave her. And I really don't like that Lisa is blaming me.
Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pause for a moment for both of you because clearly whether it's Princess Monk Diaz or Princess Diaz Monk is obviously a point of contention. So I'm just going to also give Paul an opportunity to respond to that as well. Okay, Paul?
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. We agree on something to begin with, and then I don't know why, I don't know for what reason, then she changes her mind. And if I don't go along with her every single time, it's then I'm wrong. Then I'm making the decisions. I'm trying to control everything. It's the wedding all over again, So what if I want to have, the first dance with my mom? Is the one thing in the wedding I wanted. Okay? The one thing. But no. I'm still not over that. Okay.
Yeah, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You guys are actually doing really, really well. I just want to take a moment to... Yeah, I get it. All right. So I'm going to interject here because I'm just going to bring out some of the things I've been hearing both of you say, that I can tell that Princess is a priority. And I've heard that Sophia would like to extend the 1 week transfer. So I'm not sure what that might look like for Sophia, and I'm not sure what that might look like for you, Paul. I don't know if that is if you want it month by month. Sophia, it sounds like you are still open to Paul, having time. So if maybe we can have a little bit of free talk around just this point. Like, I understand there's some wedding issues that have come up for both of you, but let's remember that we're here for Princess, and we're going to be moving forward with, I wonder, Sophia, if you think, even if you end up having more of the parenting time with Princess, I just want to clarify, Princess is a dog, right?
No, Princess is our beautiful Australian hamster.
Oh, I'm my mistake. Okay, hamster. Okay.
Why does that matter?
You're right.
It's our baby. Like,
You're
I don't.
absolutely right. I just wanted to clear. I just wanted to have an understanding. But you're right. It doesn't matter whether she is a hamster
Right.
or
It
right.
it it
100%.
doesn't matter
My
a hamster
apologies.
or a dog or like our baby. Some people have custody battles over their children and dogs and stuff, and it's the
You're right.
same thing,
My apologies.
right?
I just wanted to have an understanding because I know that sometimes there's care that can be a little bit involved depending on how old is Princess right now?
She's a toddler still.
Okay. Okay, toddler. Okay. So she's quite young. Okay, that's fair. And so we're also looking at the extension of the time. All right. So Sophia, can you describe for me what that would look like if you wanted to extend it over a week? What would be the best outcome for you?
I don't know. I feel like the best outcome could be a month, especially given Paul's living situation right now with his brother and those like wild kids of his. I'm just concerned that Princess might be traumatized by all the kids running around and screaming and probably taunting her. Because we do like to put her in a little ball so she can just roam around. But I feel like, like I'm just so concerned that these kids are gonna like kick her. So until Paul
Okay.
figures out his living situation, we need to extend the custody for at least like a month.
Right. Paul, how do you feel about that?
I was gonna say if she wants to identify as a soccer ball, it's her right. But I'm like, no, that's too much. All right, we talked about this about letting Princess choose how she or wants to identify, and if that is a soccer ball, that is Princess's choice. Okay, and she can spend time with her family however she wants, and if that's being playful and rolling around between running children's feet and soccer nets, it's you see she wants to take away all of the choices, even Princess. I don't see how this is fair now. She's setting the terms, how long we keep her, how do we let her play with family and friends.
Okay, but
it's a bit much.
Paul, just to interject here, I think it would be fair to say that Princess is quite diminutive in size for being in a ball that would be about the size of a soccer ball, correct?
Yeah, but size doesn't relate to how much love we can have for
Absolutely,
her, right?
I 100% agree. I just want you to think about if
that's not what we're talking about. I'm a little tired.
Right,
Okay.
right. If Sophia's concerned about, about Princess being kicked by your nieces and nephews, then there could be damage to. I actually should share that I've had a hamster myself, and while they're very resilient and can handle quite a lot of play, like I had my hamster in a hamster ball, and she went down the stairs, likes the stairs multiple times, and was totally fine. I understand, but I think it would be maybe more fair to consider Sophia's point in saying that there could be some trauma experienced by extensive play from such young children. You yourself have said that they have been very difficult to live with, right? So I just want you to put yourself in the frame of reference of Princess and what that might be like for her. But you've also mentioned that you feel that she's strongly identifying with it as a soccer ball. Is that correct? I understand this is really hard. It's okay. Just take a breath.
Well, I would just like to point out, like, Paul, see, you're saying you're tired. You're too tired for Princess. I think, like, let's just be reasonable here. I'm not trying to control you. And see, look, I'm trying to be the bigger person and try not to comment on the fact that you said that I'm trying to control how she wants to be a soccer ball. She doesn't want to be a soccer ball. You're too tired and you're too lazy to take care of her. And that's the only reason you're letting her be a soccer ball. But again, I'm taking the high road. I'm trying to be the bigger person. let's just acknowledge the fact that you're too tired for princess, and I think month to month is a better ordeal. And then maybe we can come back and change it once you get your own place and you're not living with your brother and his children.
I see. So, Paul, how do you feel about that? What as a proposition?
Well, month to month, that's such a long time to not be with, your child, really. That's what it is.
Okay,
She's still a toddler.
that's
She
fair.
still needs us. Yes, it's difficult, but it wouldn't be such a difficult thing if we weren't going through this process. And now it's Princess's. She's the one, or
Okay,
it's the one.
Paul, do you think within the next week or so you'd be able to be in a new place?
I pray to God every day.
I understand. So
I don't
that's
know
hard.
right now. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. And
But you are actively
I don't think she'll be
looking for a
princess
place. You are actively looking for a place. Is that fair to say?
all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Any
I just need to get
leads?
out of there, please. You wouldn't have a basement, would you? Or
No, unfortunately.
okay.
I don't.
thought I'd ask. I'm desperate.
Okay.
Listen, Paul is not going to get a place until his mother finds him a place. Like, there isn't an issue. There's been so many adverts. I got my place even before we sold our house. Like, it was a very quick process, but of course, Mommy Monk has to approve where he lives. Paul,
Yeah.
put your foot down. Try to be the grown up here. We've had this discussion so many times. Stop letting your mother control your life.
But logically,
So, Princess.
logically, how else am I supposed to know if the place is good for me or not?
Paul, you need to have a backbone. We've talked about this.
She doesn't understand.
You are a grown man, Paul. Just figure it out and get a place. There's so many adverts online. Just check it out. Call a real estate agent and go look without your mother because she's going to nitpick on everything. She wants you to live with her, Paul. And I am not bringing Princess into that toxic household.
Oh, okay. So that's another thing is if you decided to move in with your mother, Paul, which could potentially alleviate the children situation, Sophia. Sophia thinks that that's a deal breaker, right? So, is there anyone who could assist in facilitating finding a new place, somewhere that you could welcome Princess into your home?
But it has to be in the same area because now I'm in, the basement, the food is not in, it's in a different store. I got to change stores. Now she's constipated. It's not just snap your fingers and then it happens. There's a process there. I gotta, it's gotta, and now I can't get my mom to help me. Like so she wants me to stay as long as possible.
Well, okay. So
I'm
whether
living in hell.
you get your mother to assist you or not, okay, we'll put that to the side.
I can't change bets. Okay, I can't change bets. It's on a different route. It doesn't work. I can't do it. There's too many changes. Mommy does not approve.
Okay, so this has brought up the change of vets, which also brings up Lisa. Do you feel that Sophia has a valid point about now that there's a new relationship that you have with, was it Lisa? Was that her name? Yeah, Lisa. Okay, would that be fair for Sophia to say she feels that there's been a trust breach there, Paul?
She kicked me out, so.
Oh, you mean Sophia kicked you out of the house?
No, we mutually agreed to separate.
Yeah, so here's the thing where, she says we mutually agreed to separate, but I have to go along every time. So you know what? I feel like I've been kicked out. Now I've been kicked out of my home. I'm being kicked out of, my routine. And now I'm being kicked out of my relationship with Princess.
Okay, Sophia, how can you respond to that?
I can only take so many kicks.
Right. Okay. Sophia's right. It's Sophia's turn to respond, though.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Listen, we've had multiple times to fix our issues. Like I'm not getting into this. Um, we sold our house. You didn't get kicked out, Paul. We sold our house. Get that through your head. It's very clear. Okay? I had to find an apartment and I have to share it with my cousin. Do you think I'm having the best time of my life? No. But we have to make do with what we do. But my concern is Princess. And yes, you know what? I don't think you're making fair decisions about Princess. So that is why you feel like you're getting kicked because you keep making poor choices, and this is the consequences of your choices, Paul.
That's the
And
consequences of
you're
trying to be happy. Every time I try to be happy, there's a consequence.
Paul, you put her in a ball and you let the kids kick her around. You're
It was
letting
her
your mother
choice.
dictate your life. Oh my gosh, Paul, no. You know what? You are going to regret the day that she breaks her little arm or her little legs. That
See
is
how
my fear.
Okay, so this is starting to get a little charged. I think it's a good time for us to take a break. And, I'll take some time to caucus between the two of you. And we may need to set this for another day. Okay? So we're going to take 20. And then I might bring one or two of you back into this just so we can have a chance to really clarify some of these issues, because I think we're doing some great work, but we need to figure out the time for exchange between the two of you for parenting time with Princess, where she's going to be it, for the veterinarian. And also, it sounds like there's some issues around her food. So these are really important things to be making decisions over. And I understand there's still a lot of emotion and feeling here, but I think after we take the 20-minute break, we're going to work on getting some clarity around what Princess needs and refocus on these three main issues. And maybe it'll be helpful for us to decide the dietary needs, if you're going to retain the new vet or stay with the old vet, and then whether Paul's getting a new apartment or a new place to live before he has custody. And I want you to think about one thing on your break, is that would Paul have freedom of access to come over to your house, Sophia, to have visitation with Princess while he seeks a new home? I understand that that is your space, but while he's trying to sort out his new living situation, because you've both agreed this situation is not ideal, at least for Paul. So in the best interests of Princess, I think it would be a good option for us to really help Paul and support him in finding the best living situation for him and for Princess. So let's take a 20-minute break, and we can move on from there.
So that was a sample of a parental coordination mediation. Jasvir Bhatti, she played Sophia Diaz, and Daniel Côté-Ryshpan, he played Paul Monk. So, Dale, your thoughts?
Poor Princess. I don't know what to think. I feel for Princess being knocked around in her little ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned...
I think I'm on the Diaz side.
Oh, you're siding.
I'm siding with Diaz.
Okay. Okay. But in the end, you can see how we needed to take a break because they kept bringing up things that really weren't pertinent.
Yeah, they could not stay on track at all.
And that's something that is quite common because underlying emotions, especially if people haven't gone to therapy or worked out some of those emotions, they're still raw, they're still upset. And as we can tell, this was a very short marriage.
Yeah, for a good reason.
Yeah.
From day one. Even before the marriage started.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's something to learn to maybe make sure you're well rested before going to your mediation. So, so you don't get steamrolled.
Yeah, there was that.
You can think straight.
And, obviously it was very difficult for Daniel playing Paul to stick to Princess and the issues. But that was something, the role of a mediator is not to let them get into the weeds too much. I mean, sometimes you can't, as a mediator, like it's just going to happen. You just got to have to let them say their piece for a bit. Hence why it's always nice to have that back and forth in the beginning and then a bit of a free commentary. But eventually I just realized, listen, we got to take a break. And these are the issues we really have to decide. Those 3 issues of how long is the turnover of custody, which is parenting time now, the diet, and then the veterinarian. Those were the issues that really needed to be resolved and put and formalized into an agreement. And, they had to talk about the wedding a little bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting how so many times it seems like whatever their agreement or their disagreement is, it's not really the disagreement.
No. And it's hard to see it when you're in it.
Yeah.
So many of us could benefit from having those instant replays after, or having a break and then maybe replaying it later and seeing how you really show up in something. It's like, oh, wow, I really talk about my mom a lot. Or, wow, I really keep saying I'm the fair one a lot. When is that necessary to say?
Yeah.
But we've left it open for you listeners. How do you think this will it get resolved? What do you think, Dale? Do you think they'll find a resolution?
No.
This will be a failed mediation.
No, maybe they will. Who knows?
So some of the consequences of a failed private mediation means this ends up going into court, which costs money and time. And I'm in favor of lawyers attending as well a mediation, so it becomes more of a collaborative legal experience. But that may have needed to happen, where lawyers are able to present a more coherent position for both parties.
Would a court even bother listening to this case?
Well,
I know they would with
with children
with a dog,
and dogs, yeah.
But with a hamster?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say if this is what is, the issue, if this is what is preventing them from getting the divorce, if they're seeking the divorce, but this is a battleground.
Yeah.
I don't really know if a judge would entertain something
Maybe
like
small
this.
claim or some
Possibly.
other thing like that. Yeah.
I don't know how a lawyer would handle it either. If they discovered that it wasn't over a dog or over a child, it turns out it was over a hamster. But that's the thing is, I know people have battled over horses, but horses are
horse, that makes sense.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment.
And that can be big business too with a horse. That makes sense.
Whereas a hamster could be $5 at the pet store.
Yeah, it's going to live I don't know, a couple of years or something. I don't know how long they live.
Yeah.
So the one other question that I cannot seem to get out of my head is exactly how does a hamster toddle?
The toddler comment? Yeah. Yeah, I glazed over that. I was like, okay, so she's quite young.
Toddle.
I thought that was pretty good. And
it's very good.
Yeah. And so I thank you to Daniel and Jazz for being our role players today. That was really great. And listeners, tell us what you think about it. And please feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. We're on a variety of channels: Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube. And feel free to make comments on our socials. So have a great day, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. You've been listening to Tough Call, a mediation podcast hosted by C.T. Eller and Dale Sheldon. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. This podcast was edited by Jean Sarrazin, with social media and marketing by Jasvir, Bhatti and Hope Ursek. Original music by Ty Ray Lawton. This podcast was sponsored by Herb Legal LLP, where you can find more episodes at www.herblawservices.com. Thank you for listening.